Hello, Honoree. How are you, ma'am?
Still fabulous.
Still fabulous.
Still fabulous.
I should
Yeah.
probably just stop asking you because it's always going to be
Ev-
fabulous.
Every day above ground is a great day. So even if it's not a great day, still a great day. The
Indeed.
alternative is not so good,
Well,
to be fair.
depending on how this conversation ends, depends on whether I
Uh-oh.
feel like.
Uh-oh. No pressure.
So, for those that aren't familiar, at the point we're making this video, Honoree is helping me publish a book. Okay. And this is a big undertaking for someone who's never indie published a real thing, right? Like I've done academic publishing in the past, like many times, but I've never done anything where it's like non-academic. There's no hoops to jump through. Like I'm going to publish a nonfiction book.
Oh, you have hoops to jump through. Oh, there are hoops.
Yes, but they're
Have
your
I
own
not
hoops to
mentioned there are
hold. And
hoops? Have I not?
oh
Hold on.
no,
Have I not mentioned the hoops? Oh,
no,
yes.
you've mentioned
Yeah.
the hoops, but they're
Okay.
not someone else's hoops, right?
Right. That's true.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, they are benchmarks and controls, right? Because you've published a doctorate, right? So I'm sure there are
yeah,
some controls around
yeah.
whether they give you whether they give it to you or they don't,
Correct.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but these are controls you and you alone decide whether you're going to engage.
Right, right. So to me,
I'm
the
going to
risk is much
suggest
higher.
strongly.
That's right. Well, you know, be smart, hire someone that's smarter than you
That's
on what
right.
you're trying to do. And that's essentially how Honoree and I ended up meeting, was over the course of now 2.5 years or so. Me
I
trying to
know,
get,
amazing.
I know it's crazy. It's like flying by, but
Yeah,
me trying to get someone in my life that's smarter than me on this, that can teach me how to do this the right way and guide me and coach me and mentor me through this process. And
yeah. Not smarter than you, just smarter than you in this thing. Just so we're clear.
so,
Just so we're clear.
well, yeah, we're never finished, right? But the the things I've had to learn, that doesn't sound right. The things I've learned that have been mind
Yeah.
blowing to me is all the nuance in the practice and advice and the
Right.
methods and the things with getting a book together, and not just built, but marketed and promoted properly and represented properly and all the things. And to me, the
Yeah.
challenge of like publishing on Amazon seemed about this big from the outside. And then you start to realize, like, I had no idea about all the categories, and I had no idea about like algorithm behaviors and all these things. And
Right.
so one of the conversations that you and I have had that's been kind of mind bending for me a little bit, but I'm like, of course, that's absolutely the right thing, is about the 99-cent book launch. Because for years, people tell you, oh, yeah, put your book out to the whole
Yep.
world at 99 cents. Like, it's a fantastic way to ramp up sales. And that's not necessarily true. So,
It used to be.
yeah. So can you talk a bit about that? Like, can you
Yeah. Of
share like where that
course.
came from and where it's going and like
Of
what's
course.
happening?
Of course. Of course. So you were talking about engaging algorithms, and this is really not the space where we have enough time to go through the particulars of engaging those algorithms in the best, most effective way possible.
Right.
However, I can give you a little bit of a snapshot so that you can go, oh, okay, I understand why not to do it. Now I'm going to go figure out why,
Mm.
what I need to do instead, right?
Right.
But where it originated was people were indie publishing and self-publishing, maybe, in the last 5 to 10 years. So maybe in the teens, 2010, 2011, 12, 13, those years, as Amazon announced and was really getting the word out about KDP, Kindle Digital Publishing. And the algorithms at the time were just built on getting your book out, especially on day one. So, like the very first day that you're hard launching your book, the day that you tell the whole world about your book, just launching it at 99 cents, being everywhere on social media, on a podcast, in your blog, right? Like whatever you're doing to get the word out about it, like just tell everybody and their brother and their dog and their Aunt Susie, like go and buy the book at 99 cents. Get as many books sold as you possibly can, just like getting a rocket into space, right? You got to have that huge, incredible liftoff, and that liftoff is what's going to carry you for the long term. Well, as we know, because we have laws and rules, right? All laws and rules are put in place because somebody did something naughty, right? And they ruin it for the honest people, right? Honestly. And so there were a lot of people that were like, oh, okay, so we're going to launch it at 99 cents. And there was a whole lot of underhanded, naughty nonsense that went on. And so the algorithms got smarter. The algorithms were like, wait a minute, like everybody buying the book about, learning DOS, let's say, right? You have a book, you're a computer expert and you've written a book on learning DOS. Well, I might buy it because I'm your friend at 99 cents, but I'm never going to open that book. I'm never going to read it. I'm never going to put it into practice. I'm never going to review it and I'm never going to recommend it. So there's a problem, right? The algorithms got smarter. The people running the algorithms got smarter and they decided that what we really want is for the author to market the book at a price that makes us all money, which is not at 99 cents,
Right.
to people who are going to buy, read, and review the book. So we've gone from the everyone at 99 cents model to something which is much more particular and specific and easier to screw up. It's really hard to screw up. Everybody buys it at 99 cents. It's very easy to confuse the algorithms now that they are so specific, because if everyone buys your book, the algorithms are like, we have no idea who to market to. So guess what? We're going to market to no one, which is why you will see books that are still, coming out and people are like, my book is out today. Everybody go buy it for 99 cents. Please share this on your Facebook page, share this in your Instagram story, share this on your TikTok, get the word out that there's a book, get people to buy it. A lot of people go, what's 99 cents? Buy now. They buy the book. They never open it. They never read it. They never review it. They never recommend it. And so the book dies a very painful death after having made no money. Even if you sell 10,000 copies of your book at 35 cents a book, you've only made $3,500.
Wow.
Which is not a lot considering that it costs that or more to professionally publish your book, between the cover art, the interior formatting, editing, proofreading, and your back cover copy. You're going to spend that much or more just to produce the book. You don't want to sell 10,000 copies of your book at 99 cents, knowing that the majority of people are never going to open and read the book, which means you're never going to engage even the word of mouth algorithm, right? Which is not a real thing, but it's a real thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because the
Yeah,
number one way people hear about a book is through recommendation. And
sure.
so what the algorithms do is they do that electronically for you when you engage them. That's why you should never launch a book at 99 cents, because you give birth to your book. You've spent time and money and effort to get it out there, and then you literally just light it on fire and watch it die like instantaneously. That's not a good idea. I'm just
No, I don't
saying.
want to do that with my book.
Yeah.
And for those that are unfamiliar and with where I came up with all this like crazy questioning, and where Honoree and I have had this
Yeah.
conversation before, I'm in
Yeah.
her publishing PhD course, which I'm just telling you, yes, I'm biased. I don't care, whatever. That course was derived, or not derived from, was on the back of the You Must Write a book, which is how
Yeah.
I found out who Honoree Corder is. And that book was like, just like my brain just like can't open, right? Like, oh my gosh, this is what
Yeah.
I'm really supposed to be doing. There's a workbook, right? I'm trying to do this in a way you guys can see it because I've got this crazy
Yeah.
background
Thank
thing going.
you.
But in
Yeah.
this workbook, there's a timeline for when you're going to publish your book. And I'm bringing this up for a reason. You should take the publishing PhD course because it explains all of this in great, very necessary
The
detail.
reasoning
Yes.
and how to make it work for you,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
And in the workbook, if you are now in application, right? So I'm writing things down and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a second. Is there a difference between like a 99 cent pre-sale or pre-launch and an actual launch of the book at 99
Correct.
cents?
There is. Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about that? Like, is it okay to do a pre-launch at 99 cents and not full
Yes.
sale?
Yeah. So you will want to have an advanced reader team
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't consist of everybody. It's a very specific group of people who meet specific criteria that are allowed to buy the book $4.99 for a couple of days because you want verified reviews by people who are exactly who you want to read the book. You want the algorithms to go, well, Honoree is this type of person and she reads these types of books. And so she's read these 10 books that are exactly like this. Here's this new book. Let's market to her so she'll buy this new book. You get emails from Amazon every day. So people who bought this also bought this. Those are the also bought emails that are free. That when you know how to engage the algorithms, they will send, Amazon specifically will send emails to you and say, people who have read these books also read these books. You can't get access to that list of people. The only way to do it is to, from an author standpoint, to engage those algorithms through your pre-launch of your book. So the pre-launch I cover is a full session in publishing PhD so that you really understand, starting from the blank page, who you're trying to get the book in the hands of. And then everybody else doesn't need to know about it. Your Aunt Sally, unless she's your ideal reader, doesn't need to know about your book. Once your book has been out and you've sold a bunch of copies and made a bunch of money and you've got a Ferrari, then you talk to Aunt Sally about your book. Otherwise, she doesn't need to know. Right. So there's a very specific process, and I'm not being cagey, right? It's a very specific process, and there are many nuances and things. So if I give you 3 pieces of information, I'm not giving you 20 that are helpful.
Right.
Yeah. But yes, you do want to pre-launch your book with a little bit of 99 cents in there. That application is still effective when used effectively.
Gotcha.
And if you just go, everyone, I mean, I watched a guy spend, $100,000 on a ghostwriter, publish the book, pay for a pay-to-play publishing service. I think they charged him $50,000 and kept some of the royalties. Ooh. So he was out over $125,000 by the time it was all done. And then he was like, he was number 1 on Amazon for a minute because his topic is popular. He's got a really big platform. He sold 10,000 copies of his book, but he made $3,500, which is not the same as $125,000 in case, right? You need to be told that.
It's a very different number.
And so, the asterisk on that, right? Because sometimes, and I never think a 99-cent launch is the way to go. However, sometimes people write books not to sell books. They write books to sell something else.
Right.
The something else that could have been there did not exist. There was no upsell. There was no big ticket item. There was no keynote presentation, no course, no real estate investment. Like there was nothing on the other side of it. And so he lost instead of gained, but there was no upside. And also, there was no back matter, right? There's no stuff that goes in the back of the book that connects the author and the reader so that there can be a further relationship, which is also part of the methodology that I teach, right? Is that you're starting an author-reader relationship. And so you want to keep that author-reader relationship going. So sometimes there's a reason to publish a book and you're not expecting to make book sales. Don't ever launch it to the general public for 99 cents. But sometimes I will have authors, specifically the ones that I do the custom book for, that will say, I don't really care if I ever sell books. This book is going to create an opportunity for me that's going to make me millions of dollars. So it's not applicable. I don't really care if a lot of people buy the book. It doesn't matter to me, right? We're still going to publish a professional book because we want to get to that opportunity that only a book can provide.
Right.
But we still don't launch it at 99 cents.
Right. Yeah. Because it messes with, who the book gets in front of.
That's right.
Well, if you guys haven't looked at You Must Write a Book yet or looked at the Publishing PhD course yet, I highly encourage you to do that. And I started with the book. And once I saw how a book's really supposed to be done in that book, I was like, okay, there's a lot to learn here. And that's what brought me to the course. You have a sale going on the course right now, don't you? It's like it's the 99 cent kind of themed sale where it's $999 off the original price of the course.
Yeah, it's actually only for people who are listening to this or watching this video. It's
Amazing.
actually, yeah. So I just decided that if you've listened to this far and it makes sense to you and you're thinking like, maybe I should take this course, you're going to look it up and go, oh, it's not free. It's an investment. We came up with a code, which is the number 9 cents. And 99 cents will get you $999 off of the current price of the course,
Which is
but only for people who are listening to this. Just kind of a fun
yeah,
thing, like just a way to track where people are coming from. And so we're gonna know you listened to this process, to this part of the process. And thank you. And if that's interesting to you, if publishing PhD is interesting to you, it'll get you $999 off with the code 99 cents and 99 cents.
excellent. Yeah, we'll put the code down in the show notes. And like Honoree said, we're not going to publish that on like social media posts and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Mm-mm,
It's going to be specifically
no.
for people who watched and listened to this episode. I'll be honest with you guys. When we talked about this beforehand, I was like, wow, $999 off. Like
Yeah, it was like, what?
that's amazing. I just like had to ask twice just to make sure she knew what she was saying.
I know it's so confusing. Like you go, oh, she's maybe a little cute, so like I'm confused. Like she can't be smart too. Is that what's happening right now, Lucas?
No, not at all. It's
That's
just
what
like
I
one
say to
of
my husband. That's what I say to my husband. I'm like, oh, obviously the beauty is blinding you.
no, what it really is it's one of those moments where I'm learning from you about like how to do the right things. Cause like you really are in this to help people. And
I
I'm
am.
the same person. I'm like in this to help people. It's just
Yep.
like that's such a great way to help people. And
Yeah.
I
Well,
just
I want to reward the people who have given their time, right?
right.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, this is 20 minutes that you have listened to us. And so this is a bit of a give back. It's a bit of a reward for listening. And so if you take advantage of it, great. There's no time limit on it. Like
Yep.
we know when you're ready, go and plug that in. We don't have an expiration date on it. Although the sooner you start, the sooner you're going to have an awesome book and it's going to be making money for you and you're going to love being an author. But it's one of those things that doesn't have an expiration date. Unlike, I do a sale once a year. Once a year I do a sale, one time a year, Black Friday. Black Friday. And the rest of the year, the course is the course and people pay for it and take it. And I'm grateful and happy about that. It is, a fraction of what other courses on publishing costs. I do that on purpose.
Right.
Right. But in these instances where I can give back just a little bit more and connect with people and know where they came from, that's really cool.
It's amazing. And you guys can find that at the empirebuildersmasterclass.com website. So that's
Yep.
www.empirebuildersmasterclass.com. I'll put all this stuff in
Yep.
the show notes for you. If you're listening on the podcast, they're going to be in the show notes as well, not just on the
Yep.
video.
That's right.
And if you ever have any questions about any of this stuff, you can reach out to Honoree, or you can reach out to me. You can reach us through the Empire
Yeah.
Builders Masterclass website. Check us out on LinkedIn. Check us out, on YouTube, and we're putting out continuous content on these topics. I wish there was a resource like this when I got started in
Right.
the creative kind of entrepreneur
Amen.
space, but just amazing. And Honoree, thank you so much for like opening the door and showing us in detail some of the great advice that you have to share on book launches. This is just a sliver of what you've taught me over the past.
Yeah.
So, but what a freaking impactful thing to know, because think about how much money is on the line with that. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Right. Well, it was, when I did the math for this author that I knew, I didn't work with him. He didn't take my course. He was just someone that I knew socially. And I did the math, and it was somewhere between $17,000 and $60,000 that he lost by just not launching it for $299 or $999, right? So
Right.
I did the math on it. It's like, what if he had launched it and gotten at $299 and gotten the 70% royalty? What if he had launched it at $999 and gotten the 70% royalty? And very wealthy, right? Obviously, if you can afford 100 bills for
Ghostwriter.
your book production. You have some money.
Mm.
But I've never met anyone who was so rich that they were like, you know what, I'm cold. I'm just going to light a stack of money on fire to warm my hands, right? Like nobody is that wealthy that they're just like, oh, I just don't even care.
Just take my
What's
money.
another $20,000? Take my money. It's totally fine. But if they do, they talk like this.
Yes, they would talk like this. They definitely
Yes, they
wouldn't
would
be
talk
on
like this.
YouTube just making videos about
No.
book lessons.
What is YouTube? What is this YouTube?
Is that something the kids watch these days? Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Well,
We don't have that on my island.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't have that on their island. That is the
I
truth.
don't stream that on my jet. No.
Does that play on the dashboard of my Mercedes Benz now? Don't
That's
care.
right.
Yeah.
No. No.
All right, guys. Well,
Off with your head. Okay,
yes,
sorry.
off with your head. Make sure you guys are liking the video. You're commenting down below. There's so much to talk about. If you're not commenting, I don't know what you're doing. Like interact with this. It's crazy. We love to talk with people. We love to
We're cool.
yeah,
We like people.
yeah, we like people. People are good. And make sure you
Yeah.
guys subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to all the things.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody.
Bye.